Los, aufstehen! Hände hoch!
From secret tunnels and underground escapes to one of the coolest motorcycle chases in movie history, The Great Escape isn't just a war film, it's one of the all-time greatest adventure stories ever put on screen. And did you know? It's based on a real World War II event. What made this film unforgettable back in 1963? Why does it still hold up today, over 60 years later? Welcome back to Review Lens. Grab your shovels and let's get ready to dig with Charles Bronson. Let's start with a quick refresher for anyone who hasn't seen it, or maybe you just need a reminder of why this movie belongs in the Classics Hall of Fame. The Great Escape is set during World War II in a German-run prisoner of war camp. It follows a group of Allied prisoners from all over the world, digging and scheming their way toward one of the most daring mass escapes in history. There are secret tunnels, stolen supplies, fake passports, and enough clever tricks to make every guard look like a fool. These guys are literally risking their lives to outsmart the Nazis, and the result is one of the tensest and most entertaining films to come out of the 1960s. Of course, this isn't just a thrilling escape movie. What really makes The Great Escape stand out is its incredible cast. I mean, let's be honest, this lineup is legendary. Steve McQueen steals the show as Captain Virgil Hiltz. He's a cocky, rebellious American POW who spends as much time being thrown into solitary confinement as he does trying to help the escape effort. Hiltz might be the definition of cool, and McQueen's charisma basically makes every scene he's in unforgettable. There's a reason Hiltz is nicknamed the Cooler King. He's the kind of guy who gets locked up by the guards, and instead of sulking, he sits in his cell calmly bouncing a baseball off the wall like he runs the place. But The Great Escape isn't a one-man show. Richard Attenborough, playing Bartlett, the British Big X, might just be the heart of the film. He's the escape's mastermind, juggling all the moving pieces required to make the plan work. Then there's James Garner as Hendley, the Scrounger. This guy can charm anyone into giving him whatever he wants, from vital supplies to a little trust. And let's not forget about Charles Bronson as Danny, the Tunnel King, whose quiet intensity and underlying fear of tight spaces make his role both heroic and surprisingly emotional. This ensemble creates one of the best group dynamics you'll ever see on film. They're brave, resourceful, and often hilarious, proving that even in the darkest moments, there's room for humor and friendship. Now, here's where things get really interesting. The Great Escape isn't just fictionalized Hollywood fun. This story is actually loosely based on true events. During World War II, Allied prisoners in a Nazi POW camp called Stalag Luft 3 carried out a mass escape attempt that inspired the events of the film. The prisoners spent months secretly digging 3 tunnels named Tom, Dick, and Harry. Using tools they made out of whatever scraps they could find, like tin cans and pieces of furniture, they painstakingly carved their way underground to freedom. What's even crazier, they had to hide massive amounts of dirt from those tunnels right under the guards' noses. And they managed this by shoving the dirt in their pant legs during roll call, then shaking it out as they walked around the camp. Talk about some next-level innovation. But of course, dramatic Hollywood liberties were taken. The real escape was a far more tragic event, where many of the soldiers who got out were eventually recaptured, with dozens executed by the Nazis. While the movie focuses more on the adventure and thrill, it still maintains the core idea of courage and the incredible risks these men faced. And now, let's talk about the part that made history. And no, I'm not talking about the tunnels. I'm talking about that motorcycle chase. You've probably seen it before, even if you've never watched the movie. It's a legendary sequence where Steve McQueen's character, Hiltz, escapes on a stolen German motorcycle, weaving through the countryside, dodging soldiers, and finally attempting one of cinema's most iconic stunts, a death-defying jump over barbed wire. Believe it or not, this scene wasn't even part of the original script. McQueen, being a motorcycle enthusiast in real life, pressured the filmmakers to add the sequence. And here's the kicker. He performed most of the stunts himself, although a stunt double handled that incredible jump. You can thank McQueen for giving the world one of the coolest action moments ever filmed, and for proving that motorcycles automatically make any movie 10 times better. At just under 3 hours, you might think a movie like this could drag, but it doesn't. What keeps you glued to the screen is the perfect balance between suspense, humor, and camaraderie. Even when things slow down to show the detailed planning of the escape, the interactions between the prisoners, whether it's them cracking jokes or subtly undermining the guards, keep the energy up. For a war movie, it's got a surprising amount of personality, making you genuinely care about these characters and their fates. Of course, any great movie needs great direction, and John Sturges absolutely delivers. He captures the vastness of the camp and the claustrophobia of the tunnels equally well, creating a film that feels big yet intimate. Sturges also knows when to inject humor, pacing the movie flawlessly so the heavier moments don't overwhelm the audience. And then there's the unforgettable score by Elmer Bernstein. That upbeat march you hear throughout the movie? It's practically guaranteed to stick in your head for days. It perfectly matches the mix of optimism, wit, and intensity that runs through the entire film. So, why does The Great Escape still stand out so many decades later? There are plenty of great war movies out there, but this one does something special. It makes you feel the power of resilience, teamwork, and intelligence without getting bogged down in the horrors of war. Sure, it has plenty of action and suspense, but at its heart, it's about people refusing to surrender their humanity, even when everything's stacked against them. It's the perfect blend of Hollywood storytelling and real-life inspiration. And let's be real, legends like Steve McQueen, James Garner, and Charles Bronson are basically acting royalty. They created characters who still resonate with audiences today, proving that coolness and courage never go out of style. So, if you've never seen The Great Escape, do yourself a favor and check it out. And if you're already a fan, well, it's always worth a rewatch. What's your favorite scene? Is it the motorcycle chase, the tunnel digging, or another moment entirely? Let me know in the comments, because everyone's got their favorite part of this movie. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more reviews and deep dives into classic films like this one. Now, if you don't mind, I think it's time to dust off my own copy of The Great Escape and maybe go buy a motorcycle. See y'all next time, and don't forget to save us a balcony seat.